please do give us a subscription, hit the like button, share our video, and hit the notification button so that whenever we upload a video, you can have it at your fingertip. Remember, we are on a journey of Java programming where we discuss on Hello World, and we have seen how Hello World works. We also look at the variables. We look at simple example of how to find a principal, or using a simple interest formula to calculate a principal using a formula. Principal is equals to rate times interest. We also look at the different categories of operators in Java programming, where we discuss on the arithmetic operators, logic operators, relational operators, and bitwise operators. Today in this video, we are going to discuss on input and output functions. We remember we have been discussing about output functions. So we are just going to have an overview of these output functions, and we are having three kinds of output functions. The first output function we are having is this. We have using a print, then just like that as a function, and this what usually does, it prints the string within a quotation or within a double quote inside these parentheses. And we also have print ln, which usually does the same printing as the first print functions, but the difference is that here, after it's print out the statement, then the cursor will move to the beginning of the next line. And also we have another print of if. This does the same printing with that of C or C++ that we have been seeing in the previous classes, or in your previous introduction to problem solving classes. So this how this print out statement works, but we usually practice this very print function statement. So we are going to look at the input function now. These input functions, it allows you to accept input from the user. These usually deal like if we see the earlier example we have given for the simple interest, where we have seen how we worked with principal is equals to rate times interest. So our rate is being defined and given within the code. Our interest is also defined or declared and being given a value within the code. But in this scenario of input functions, we are going to accept, or the system is going to ask the user to impute the rate and also impute the interest, so that it can be able to calculate the principal. So this is what we are going to look at in this example. And for us to achieve this, we have two ways that we need to consider. Number one, we need to have what we call a package. It's a library, or it's a package within a Java programming, sorry, not Python, within a Java programming, where you can be able to import it into the Java IDE or Java working environment. Once you import it, then you can be able to have what we call an object, or we call it scanner object. It's a class that you need to create that. So after you create it, then you now create the variable that can be able to accept these or ask the user to impute these very functions. Now let's see how this works. In the first instance, we said you need to import what we call import import java.util.scanner. So you have your semicolon, meaning that you have ended this statement. So importing this now allows you now to create another object class with a scanner object. So how are you going to do that? We do this by using a scanner. So in this, let's assume we import, right? We import a scanner package. And what is the function of this scanner package? The function of this scanner package is to allow user to insert an input. So, and here we are going to create a class. And to create this class, we said we have scanner, then we have input, this is standing as the object and is looking as if we are declaring a variable called input with a data type called scanner, but we are not dealing. I'm just giving you an instance of this so that you can be able to be well familiar with this. Are we together? So is equals to new scanner, inside a parenthesis you have system.in, right? You have this. So once you have this, it means you have created an object that can be able to use your scanner, that can be able to use your input as statement. So up next, what we are going to look at, we create an input functions, and to create an input functions here, we use what we call if it is a number, we know what to do. If that number consists of a decimal place, we also know what to do, right? If it's just not number, we use int, right? If it is not a number, like to say it's a decimal places, or at the end of the day it will give us decimal places, we use double, right? If it's a string that you want to accept from a user, then you use a string, right? So for this we set int. Let's say we give it a syntax of a number, then is equals to what now? So it's going to be equals to input, right, dot next int, right? It's going to be next int, then you have this. So with this now, you can be able to insert any input statement on this, right? So but the problem now, this will allow you to insert a statement but at a blank space, right? This is what is going to allow you to do. But we want a scenario where we can be able to insert a statement, like using a printout functions asking you to insert a certain number. Then you now use that instruction to type in that very particular number and hit your enter key so that it can move to the next line. So having we have seen how this works. So now we are going to use this scenario to write a program that can calculate or can accept user input to calculate principal using a formula P equals to rate times interest. Are we together? So having that in mind, so we are going to write our normal principal program using the previous example. We have our lesson with the public class, and the only thing we initiate, we have our int as what is is it rate, or is going to be double, right? It's going to be double. We have, is it rate is equals to, is it, we use 1000 that time. So we also have double which is equals to, or we leave a space, which is equals to interest is equals to 0.02, right? Double, we have principal, which is equals to rate times interest, right? So we are done with this, right? So with this, we can just use our system.out.print to have this. So in this case, what we are going to do, first of all, we import java.utim.scanner, right? It's a package. So after we have imported this, then under this, we are going to use our public class, right? We have our public, the package whatsoever is there, public class is there. So we have our public class here and what have you. So after that, then coming to this, we have that our object that we have created earlier, and the object is scanner input is equals to new, right? New scanner inside a parenthesis we have system dot input, right? We are done with this again. So for us to have that one, we are having challenges with this bot. So for us to have input, we know we are going to use our data type. We now use it. So, but in this case, we need to have our system.out.print first. System.out.print. We have our next line. So, input the value of rate, right? So with this, it's going to prompt to the user to input the value of rate. So now you are going to have, you know, we have our double, right? We said double, what? Double is our rate, which is equals to. Now we remember we used to assign a value into this. So this time around, we are not assigning a value. Rather, we are going to use input function. Rather, we are going to use input function called input dot next, then we end it with double, right?